We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't going to do that today.
You know
now,
what?
Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you
now,
something.
that man can articulate himself very well. Not Donald Trump now.
Before we get to Ben Shabibo, let's look at Stephen A. Smith, Rip Hannity.
All right, joining us now with reaction is ESPN host, the one and only Stephen A. Smith. Do you want to get it out of the way now, how hard your life is, that you have to defend the fact that you admit that you're friends with me? You want to get that out of the way at the beginning or at the end?
No,
just asking.
I don't need to get that out of the way. The public knows that already. You get on my nerves. I don't agree with you 75% of the time, but you're still my buddy. You know, I feel bad for you half the time with some of the takes you give, but I'm here to help you out anyway. What's going on, Sean?
Okay. All right. I always say, you say to me, stay in my lane when I talk sports, stay in your lane on politics. However, there's something amazing. Putting aside any demographic group, if you are going to attack them, you want them to vote a certain way.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Trump's decision to spend hours with Joe Rogan not going over well with Michiganders, some of whom are leaving as they learn the former president is still more than an hour away. Oh, no. Oh, no. The campaign just aired a video message from Trump on his plane explaining he had to spend time with Rogan because he needs to win. Says the plane should land around 10 p.m. Eastern. Many in the crowd continue to leave. More Trump rally attendees in Traverse City heading for their cars per video shot by Jake M. Rosen. He's like, come on, you fucking peasants. I have to do it. I have to do it. Dude, that's awesome. Stadium is filling up for the Beyonce concert tonight. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is like not to be... Listen, dog, not to be too much of like a Republican here. Wait, it effed again? This time I didn't see any drop frames on my end. Okay? I didn't see any frame drops. It didn't even show on my end. I'll just say this much. Okay? Not to be like the Fox News anchors here, but like this is a fucking Beyonce rally. This is a Beyonce concert. Okay? This is a Beyonce concert. That's not, you know... It's Beyonce, not just Beyonce, but Beyonce in Houston, you know.
And you are going to suggest that they are sexist or misogynistic. If you're going to suggest, like Stacey Abrams did, that African-American men are racist and sexist, is that a good way to encourage people to vote the way you'd like them to vote?
What?
No, but I didn't hear Stacey. I didn't hear Stacey Abrams speak in that way. As a matter of fact, she talked about how black men do vote. Black men do support Kamala Harris. Black men do support a lot of the Democrats and what have you. And she's absolutely right about that. You know, I spoke against President Barack Obama, who I know you don't like that, but I admire and respect this man. I did not like what he had to say at that particular clip that you showed, and I spoke out about it on my show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and I'm unapologetic about that because I know, by and large, black men have always supported black women. That's a fact. That's a point of fact. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't some misogyny that does exist amongst a few in our community. But I think that when we looked at this election that's forthcoming, and we see Kamala Harris going up against Donald Trump, I don't think it's right to point to that as a reason why it's a nip and tuck race and why she isn't receiving the support that she deserves. And that is why I spoke out against what he had to say on that particular issue, because I was refuting what he was saying. I don't believe that to be the case at all.
Okay, both Stephen A. Smith and Charlemagne the God are like kind of conservative voters that end up voting for the Democratic Party. So maybe Kamala Harris was actually signaling to them. They might be the Liz Cheney constituency. Now that I think about it, it's making a lot more sense. Charlemagne the God famously endorsed Michael Bloomberg, probably for money, but that's besides the point. Then he endorsed Pete Buttigieg, I think. He made some very interesting decisions in that primary. And Stephen A. Smith is famous for, 3 base takes to 8 not so good takes. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think that, they are the most likely Liz Cheney constituency voters.
When it comes to her.
All right, so let's stay.
Because Liz Cheney's a white woman? Wait, what? No, dude. I'm making a joke about them being conservative overall. They're like relatively conservative liberals.
On Kamala Harris for a second here. Democrats are in a state of panic. Although momentum seems to be going to Donald Trump, I told you this would happen in a private conversation we had. You were skeptical. I think I was proven right. You know sports better than I do. I think I know politics. I know.
You do.
But here's my question for you. You did call her out early, and you said she's making a mistake not doing interviews. Now, she does these interviews, and I argue to you that the reason she's struggling and she's like tied up in a pretzel because she can't express what she has stated publicly, that she wants the Green New Deal, the elimination of the filibuster. She can't say she wants to eliminate private health insurance, as she has said in the past. She's not going to run on what she has stated in the past to decriminalize illegal immigration, free food, housing, health care, education, sex change operations, and a path to citizenship, or banning fracking, banning offshore drilling. So
Dude, conservative commentary is so awesome. Like, why the fuck am I dealing with all these dumb bitches up my ass all the fucking time, lying on my name, smearing myself, when I could just be like a fucking conservative and just say whatever the fuck I want and just receive admiration from the dumbest motherfuckers out there. Unlimited dollars. Ain't nobody yelling at me about anything. Like, look at what just Sean Hannity said. Okay, look at what he just said. It's like, yeah, Kamala Harris wants to do transgender surgeries on frackers that are crossing the border illegally. What's up with that? Of course, she's going to have a hard time dealing with, any kind of slight pushback. It's like, what are you saying? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make sense. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy. You just sit there and you're like, Trump good. Okay? Trump good. I will say whatever fucking unhinged ass shit you've ever heard in your entire life. That's your future career when you fall off. Yeah. It's just funny because everyone is always saying that it's going to happen one day. Like, I'm inevitably going to fall off. The fall off is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then I'll be right wing. And then all the people that were like praying for my downfall will become my lovers, I guess.
He has to, give us word salads because she won't tell us how she really feels. She's hiding her true beliefs. Well, Donald Trump doesn't do that.
Well, first of all, that's a very long question. Let's get to it. Number one, you talk about what she's doing. Bottom line is this: as vice president of the United States, it wasn't her job to lead. She has to go along with the program. You are a support base. You support the person that is in charge, who happened to be Joe Biden. That's number one. Number two, I know you're not talking about somebody being lucid and cogent and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't gonna do that today.
Now,
what? Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you something.
That man can articulate himself very well. Not Donald Trump now.
I have sat with him for hour after hour after hour, topic after topic after topic, and he is so dialed in. Really? Look, it's funny. People try. This is like the latest argument. And meanwhile, your friends in the Democratic Party, they ignored the obvious, significant, deep cognitive decline of the president for over 4 years. I said it before the 2020 election. Kamala to this day say, Joe was really cognitively alert. You know that's a crock. I know that's a crock.
What is she supposed to say, Sean?
Knows it's a crock. Not Donald Trump.
Sean, what is it? Hold on. What is she supposed to say? She's supposed to sit up there and say, you know what, my president, my boss.
Truth.
I mean, there was cognitive decline there. No, you're not. No, you don't do that.
Show?
You don't dime out your boss. You don't do that. I do tell the truth on my show, but guess what? So I said I do. What I said, however, is that I'm not going to dime out my boss if that's my boss. Go ahead.
Whoa, hang on a second. You know what? I have never watched you hold back. You say what you mean. You mean what you say. That's my point. She is. But she knew he was a cognitive mess, and now she's lying. Oh no, I never noticed it. It's a lie.
Sean, what you're trying to, because what people. But because listen, I personally, a year earlier, I was saying there's slippage, there's something that ain't there. He ain't going to make it to the election. Y'all better get with the program, do something about it. I was on the record about Joe Biden, but I'm not a part of the Biden administration. And if I was a part of the Biden administration, I wouldn't have told you that. That's number one. Number two, she's the candidate now. You got to run against her. Are you going to beat her, Sean? Are you going to beat her? Are you going to beat her?
It's a straight up. It's straight up. The American people.
Are you as confident as you were months ago?
The biggest choice election in a lifetime.
I see some slippage on his part.
Stephen A.
He's running the greatest fucking counter of all time, which is now that Kamala is running and not Joe Biden, you could just be like, oh, he's too old. He's old. He's skipping a beat. He's missing a step here and there. Breaking news showing bombing in Iran. What the fuck is going on with this chat, bro? I know, man. I know. We know. We already covered it.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Yes.
She lied when she said the inflation's trans. Dude,
foreign policy nerds are so annoying. Like, even fucking Elent News is not as much chirping as much as you guys.
They lied repeatedly, and she said, "Oh no, the border's secure. The border's secure." Now,
are you
all of a sudden,
are you sure you want to make the case about somebody lying in favor of Trump?
She never changed her positions on. She never changed her position on the.
Dude, this is also a fucking idiotic argument because it's like, dude, you talk about Kamala Harris flip-flopping on her positions when you're defending Donald Trump. Donald Trump flip-flops on his positions in the same conversation. Like, what's Donald Trump's position on abortion? Ask him 2 years ago. He's excited at the prospect of it getting overturned. Ask him today. He's like, everybody wanted it to be overturned. I didn't want it to be overturned. Ask him about IVF. He didn't know what the fuck it was. In one moment of the conversation, he didn't know what IVF is. And then the next moment of the conversation, he's the father of IVF. Okay? He literally flips in the same sentence. Like, what kind of metric are we applying here? It makes no damn sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't be like, oh, Kamala Harris is a flip-flopper while you're a fucking Trump supporter. Like, what are you talking about? I can say that. You can't, Sean.
Green New Deal on sex change operations, open borders, amnesty.
Yeah, my favorite one was when he said, Ashley Babbitt died. Nobody died. That was the funniest line. It's like, but it happens so frequently that That was the Univision response when he was like, Ashley Babbitt died. Nobody died. Our people, we weren't armed. They were armed. And it's like, what do you mean we? So now you're owning it? Like, what's happening? When I say we, I mean they, Antifa, but also we, brave patriots that were arrested as political prisoners.
She became a candidate. You know what that means? She is a typical politician that just will say whatever needs to be said to win an election. You get the last word because I like you so much.
Can I retort? Let me retort. Fair enough.
Okay.
You didn't even bring up fracking. You didn't even bring up the border. That's absolutely a valid point on your part. What she's doing now is saying, excuse me, I'm open to compromise. I'm willing to work across the aisle. I'm willing to listen and make things happen. Now, you have a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump, and they absolutely positively believe he will change Washington. The question is, will it be for better or will it be for worse? The cesspool that we look at as the nation's capital, if you got him back in office and he's on a revenge tour and he's not focused on doing what it takes to lead the country, where will that lead the country? You're not bringing that part up. So again, we might not like something on the left. We might not like something on the right. These are the two candidates that we've got to work with. And when you bring up issues in terms of character or in terms of being truthful or whatever, let me tell you something right now. You can bring a whole bunch of Republicans and I'll be cool with it. You can't bring up Trump to make a case against somebody else using those arguments. You can't do that.
Look, you know what? I'm predicting that privately you're going to vote for Trump.
Oh, never. And I told you I'm on the record. I'd have voted almost for any Republican but him. Okay?
This is why I say he's a fucking conservative, dude. Look, like, you would have voted for a Republican? Like, what the fuck are you saying, man?
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump energized his MAGA supporters at a New York City event, reiterating his commitment to cracking down on immigration and sharply criticizing his Democratic opponent, Kamala Harris. During his recent speech at Madison Square Garden, Trump emphasized his promise to carry out the largest deportation effort in US history if elected. November 5th will be a pivotal date in our nation's history, and together we will restore America's strength, said Trump, portraying the country as mired in economic and social challenges. Trump was accompanied by numerous Republican allies at the event, many of whom launched personal attacks on Harris. One speaker referred to her as the devil, while others used harsh rhetoric against immigrants, migrant communities, and perceived adversaries. Trump also blamed Harris, calling her a radical left Marxist who is, in his words, unintelligent and unfit to lead. For many of the nation's issues, you have ruined our country, he said, addressing the vice president directly. The rally comes just days before Americans vote on November 5th, with polls indicating a tight race between Trump and Harris for the White House. The election outcome may hinge on 7 key battleground states, including Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, where the contest remains extremely close. If you found this video informative, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching.